All right, next news.
Next news is out of India, so I wish we had Subin with us. India
Oh
tightens
yeah.
Kashmir lockdown over Muslim processions. Okay, Kashmir is a place between Pakistan and India um, that has it's majority Muslim country that is still on clampdown by India's law, kind of. So
No, so
uh,
no. So there's parts of it that is claimed by that is under India's. Part of it that is by Pakistan and
Pakistan.
China as well. But let's forget about that for now. But this is the part of Kashmir that was held by India. But go on.
Yes,
Anyway.
yes. This is the part that's held by India law. Right now, there's a clampdown um, on that part that is banning processions by Muslims during the first month of the Islamic calendar, which is Muharram. Is that the right way to say it?
Muharram, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Shia Muslims decided they were going to do a lot of protests out there, and even though it's banned in their area right now, they started holding rallies and processions out there while they were severely beaten by police. It's kind of going out of control over there right now, and it's not just the Shia Muslims either. People from all religions are actually coming together to try to help them and be on their side. So it's right now a fight between Muslims and the law.
Yeah, I mean, so let's just give some context to people. This whole, I mean, I don't, because this could be a 1 hour discussion of its own. But let me see if I could do a summary version of it. So this is a part of in this was part of India, but they were autonomous. But it was India's constitution that they were going to be autonomous, and at some point the Indian parts of Kashmir, at some point, India had promised in the constitution that they would vote and they would decide whether they want to join Pakistan or whether they want to stay with India or whether they would want to become their own independent state. And probably, if they were ever get a chance to vote, probably they would go with that third option. But they never given a chance to vote. Because India knows that if they do get a chance to vote, they're going to lose Kashmir altogether because it's mostly Muslim, right? They don't want to be part of India. Um, so for many years they have been trying to fight for their rights, try to get full and get that vote at some point. But now the Modi guy, he came and he changed the constitution without any vote or any discussion or anything. He just removed that part from the constitution, and now they're not autonomous anymore. And now Indians from India could go to Kashmir and buy land there. And the whole point of this is to change the demographic of Kashmir, the Indian part of Kashmir, so that it's mostly Hindu. So even if they do vote, the whole demographic changes from Muslim to Hindu. So this is like a massive push for changing demographics. But as soon as they did that, they put the whole place on lockdown. Nobody gets to, there is complete blackout of news. The politicians there are under arrest. Nobody could go report on it. Everyone's rights are being taken away. No right to assembly. No right to free speech. It's a disaster. Like, it's a human rights violation, and a lot of people are supporting India because it's really easy for people on our side. Every time something happens against Muslims, they keep cheering it on. And these are people that don't understand that human rights violations are human rights violations, and we need to this is absolutely the way people are so biased. People on our side are so biased, right? We're anti-Islam, but we recognize that this is a human rights violation, and this is a religious crackdown as well. This is this is not racial because Indians and Pakistanis and people from Kashmir, they have the same ethnic diversity on average all around that area, right? So this is an attempt to change the religious demographic of a nation by force, right? And
Right.
it needs to be called that. And it's interesting that the two countries right now that are the most anti-Muslim, not anti-Islam, but anti-Muslim, and are discriminating against Muslims on such a massive scale are China and India, right? And because these countries are tomorrow's superpowers, and nobody talks, other countries don't take that much positions against them, right? I mean, if this was Trump or some other, majority white country, the whole world would be speaking against it. But because they're not Muslims are not. Muslims do talk about it in Pakistan, but Muslims outside of Pakistan don't talk about it that much because they're not. Anyways, but this is disaster, and I don't know what to do. I was looking at bringing somebody from Kashmir on the show. I'm looking into that. No promises. She was saying, I'm very proud of this. See, this is exactly what I was saying. This is our Atheist Republic community. The top comment is saying, I am very proud of this. And I bet you Shiv is from India. Let me see, where are you from, Shiv? I bet you're from India. Second top comment, Aradhya is saying, I'm truly ashamed. Oh, okay. This is another comment, I think, also from India. Is this from India? Not sure. Yeah, probably. I'm not gonna load that. It's not gonna load it. So second comment was, I'm ashamed. So third comment saying, admin recently have been floating misleading articles. Oh, come on. This is interesting. This is what people in India do whenever, this is the most common tactic whenever they don't like the news is fake news, right?
Every
freaking time. Fourth top comment, I think, is also from India, saying very sensitive matter this bad English, but he's basically saying that this could lead to war. Wait, I thought it's already a war. Shubham in the comment section in the YouTube live chat is saying Armin is right. So many people think that no one in Kashmir is being treated badly because the government says so. No, actually, people are being tortured right now in Kashmir. Yeah. People are being tortured in Kashmir, and there's complete blackout because they managed to somehow get, I don't know, they cut out the internet and everything. There's so many people in Kashmir that their families are outside and they have no idea what's happening to them. Harris Sultan is saying, I belong to the superior Indian race. Okay. Shubham is saying, both names are Indian. Okay, good thing. Yeah, so I was right about that. All right. Should we go to the next news?
There's two questions here that we're going to answer. The first question is removing Article 370 unconstitutional? And second question is, was there relative peace and stability in Kashmir during the application of Article 370? So let's look at the first question first. But before we see how it was removed, I think it's important for us to take a look at the special privileges that were granted to the people of Kashmir under Article 370 and 35A, and some of the discriminations that were made against non-Kashmiris in Kashmir under those same articles as well. So under Article 370 and 35A, non-Kashmiris could not be employed under the state government, they could not buy property in the state, they could not settle in the state, and they had no right to get scholarships or any other forms of aid as the state government may provide. Doesn't that sound like discrimination? So no big companies would ever come and set up shop in Kashmir because they could never buy property in Kashmir. So potentially Kashmir is missing out on thousands and thousands of jobs and good education programs. If people have well-paying jobs, if people are well educated, do you really think that they are going to have the time in the day to go out and throw stones from 9 to 5? On top of that, this article heavily discriminated against Kashmiri women. A Kashmiri man could marry a non-Kashmiri woman, and the woman would gain the same special privileges that the Kashmiri man had, and so would their children. However, if a Kashmiri woman married a non-Kashmiri man, she would lose her special privileges. She would lose her state's rights. The man and their children would also not get the state's rights in that case. So the Kashmiri woman and her family would lose their ancestral Kashmiri property, and their kids would not be able to inherit the woman's property as well. Now tell me, how the hell is that not discrimination. Article 35A is a perfect example of a bill designed specifically to cater to the patriarchy and to keep the women down. Oh! And it gets worse. Article 35A also heavily discriminated against the lower castes in India. The lower caste Valmiki community was brought to Kashmir in 1957 to do manual scavenger work. But under Article 370, this community did not have the right to buy property in Kashmir, to get a state job, or to get state scholarships for college education. All of that because they're not Kashmiris. So they can clean your sewers, but they can't get a job in your bloody government? This is essentially tantamount to discrimination on the basis of caste, and it is a clear violation of the Indian Constitution. The picture you are seeing is of a 19-year-old Dalit girl, Radhika Gill. Her family was brought to Kashmir to work as sweepers in 1957. Radhika cleared the Border Security Force entrance exam. Radhika is also a top athlete, but Radhika can only get a job as a sweeper. And this is only because of Article 370 and Article 35A. Is this fair? Also, by the way, when people are talking about Kashmir, I think they forget that Jammu and Kashmir isn't just the Kashmir Valley. Jammu and Kashmir also consists of the area of Jammu and Ladakh. What happened because of Article 370 and 35A, that it concentrated power in the hands of powerful Kashmiri families who took all the good government jobs, which is basically the only kinds of jobs available in Kashmir. So they took all the good government jobs and they pocketed all the central funding that they got from the government. There was an amazing speech that was given by a member of parliament in the parliament recently who hails from Ladakh, who spoke about how the Kashmiri politicians under Article 370 and 35A heavily discriminated against Ladakh. I would really recommend you to go check out that speech. It will really open your eyes about what was happening with Ladakh under Article 370. He told the story of how all the central funding that came for the entire state of Jammu and Kashmir was pocketed by the Kashmiri politicians and Ladakh got nothing. He spoke about how all the good government jobs were taken by Kashmiris and Ladakh got nothing. How is any of this fair? Oh, by the way, it still gets worse. Radicalization and terrorism has spread like cancer in the Kashmir Valley. This radicalization that was brought about by the special status granted by Article 370 directly led to the ethnic cleansing of 400,000 Kashmiri Hindus from Kashmir in 1990. They were murdered and driven out of their ancestral homes where they've lived for thousands of years, and they still haven't gotten justice to this day. On top of that, there are a massive number of terror attacks in Kashmir every year. There were 342 terror attacks in Jammu and Kashmir in 2017 and 429 in 2018 alone. So every year, dozens of civilians and security personnel lose their lives due to Islamic terror attacks in Kashmir. Keeping Article 35A and Article 370 was good only for the Sunni Muslim men of Kashmir. Removing Article 370 is good for the Kashmiri women, is good for the people of Jammu, it's good for the Shias and the Buddhists of Ladakh, it's good for everyone in Kashmir, not just for a certain section of the population. Which one would you rather choose? One section or everyone? On the other hand, the protests in Kashmir can't even be called protests, because these quote-unquote protests are deeply rooted in xenophobia and religious intolerance. Because of this xenophobia, 400,000 Hindus were ethnically cleansed from the Kashmir Valley. Stone pelters are out on a daily basis trying to attack, maim, or kill security forces. Take a look at this video. Does this look like in any way a peaceful protest for self-determination? I mean, what the hell is this protest trying to achieve? What the hell kind of protest is this? Where you have to ethnically cleanse a population, where you are out every day trying to murder innocent civilians and security forces. This is not about democracy. This is about creating a religious ethno-state.